All right. So welcome to my eye clinic. So first and foremost is a 34-year-old male patient visits IOPD with complaints of watering, redness, mild lid edema from past 2 days. On eversion of upper eyelid, follicles are seen. Based on the patient shown, answer the following question. So yeah, yes, check this out. This is the real patient. Why I am showing you this real patient? Now check this out. All right. So why I am showing you this? So the reason being, such patients nowadays I am seeing out of every 10 patients, 6 patients are with these complaints. So I am waiting for your answer. This class is going to be very interactive. So you need to tell me the most probable diagnosis. What is your diagnosis? Yes, waiting for your answers, boys and girls. Quick. What is your diagnosis? क्या diagnosis है आपका? What is the most common etiological agent? And how will you manage this case? What will you advise to the patient? So I am getting answer. Very good, Rohit. Arunava, very good. Yes, waiting for more answers. Yes, what do you say? I want your diagnosis, I want the etiological agent, I want the management, and I want what will you advise to the patient. So this is the real time scenario. You know that there is an outbreak of viral conjunctivitis. So I don't want you people to send me messages, sir, my so and so has got this, please advise the treatment. No, you are doctors yourself, right? So I want you to give treatment by your own side and be confident about it, whatever you are prescribing, है ना? Very good. It is viral conjunctivitis. Most common etiological agent is, so this is pink eye, viral conjunctivitis. Yes, one answer is correct. So this is your viral conjunctivitis. Very good. Yes, and second answer is also correct. Very good. It is adenovirus. Most common is adenovirus, but it can be enterovirus as well, but most commonly is adenovirus, so we are considering it adenoviral conjunctivitis. Yes, what is the answer to third question? How will you manage this case? Yes, coming out to third question. Arunava, very good, go ahead. Rohit, very good. Sakshi, Nidhi, good. What else? More students, I want more answers. Yes, more answers. Quick. Diya, okay. What else you will prescribe? So what is happening is, today also I saw a patient in which the patient went to the chemist directly, and the patient was prescribed high potent steroid, based on which the patient developed keratitis. Can you imagine? So how will you manage this case? Yes, Krishna, very good. This is epidemic viral conjunctivitis. So how will you manage this case? First, what you are going to do, you will give low potent steroid. Which is that low potent steroid you can give? Fluorometholone can be given. Fluorometholone, I am writing here. Fluorometholone plus tobramycin combination. Tobramycin, it is available with the brand name FMLT. Why I am telling you? I am telling you because you need to prescribe, because this outbreak is real. It is happening right now. है ना? Fluorometholone. Second, you will give artificial tears, right? And thirdly, you can give any good oral NSAID. तो ये तो हो गया आपका treatment. And fourth, you are going to give cold compress. What do you understand? अगर patient बोलेगा डॉक्टर साहब cold compresses का क्या मतलब है, तो cold compresses का मतलब है, what you are going to do, you will say, take a cube of ice, roll it in the handkerchief and put it on your eyes, right? And make sure you need to tell to the patient what is the fourth question. So this is the entire treatment. Now if you come across the case of epidemic keratoconjunctivitis or viral conjunctivitis, you will give FMLT, you will give artificial tear, you will give oral NSAID and cold compresses. FMLT, why you will say, sir, why we are giving antibiotic when it is viral? Wajib question na, valid question. Why? Because there can be super added infection. To prevent the super added infection, you will give tobramycin. Is it understandable? Or you can also give moxifloxacin along with these eye drops, right? And what will you advise to the patient? Dear Diya, dexamethasone is not given because dexamethasone is relatively strong steroid. You need to give low potency steroid, fluoromethanol. Another steroid which you can give is loteprednol. Loteprednol. Please restrict yourself prescribing fluoromethanol and loteprednol. Yes, Vadi, rationale behind NSAID, because there is inflammation, na? So that will help in lowering down the inflammation. But you will give oral. Don't give topical NSAID. That is cornea toxic, right? Yes, Arnab, very good. Mild steroids for decreasing inflammation. You can also give oral NSAID. It will also decrease pain because viral conjunctivitis at times may be associated with pain. Why pain? Because there is associated lid swelling, है ना? And there is associated follicles that would cause pain, right? Okay. Arunava, absolutely correct. Moxifloxacin you will not give. Tobramycin can be given in children. Moxifloxacin are avoided in children, right? So that is why I told you in adults you can add moxifloxacin as well. Otherwise, 1 FMLT, fluoromethanol, tobramycin. 2nd, artificial tears, any good artificial tear. 3rd, oral NSAID, and 4, cold compresses. Trust me, the patient will get fine in 5 to 6 days. Trust me. And you will get a lot of blessings with which you are going to clear your INI CT with top rank, or maybe NEET PG with your top rank, right? Santhya, antivirals are usually not prescribed because their efficiency is debated, right? Antivirals are not prescribed, their efficiency is debated because this is self-limiting. 4 to 5 days, after 4 to 5 days the patient will get okay. So antivirals are generally not prescribed. Abhijit, I have already told you antibiotics are going to prevent superadded infection, right? And what advice will you give to patient? Don't touch your eye and don't touch on the surfaces. You need to restrict the patient to a room. Patient को confine कर दिया जाएगा and ask the patient to not share his handkerchief with anyone else. Otherwise, there will be widespread of the infection, right? And ask the patient to take care of the other eye as well. He is not supposed to touch his eye and then touch on the surfaces and then touch on the other eye as well. So this is the advice that you will give to the patient. Done? Can we go ahead with the second question? I hope it is very much clear. Viral conjunctivitis, you know the treatment. Now आपकी तरफ से मेरे पास कोई मैसेज नहीं आना चाहिए कि सर my so and so has got this. Now what can be the treatment? I am going to ask you what is the treatment, right? चलो, good. All right. So Sarbani, you can use the drop 4 times. 4 times a day is enough. Artificial tear also 4 times. That's good enough. Oral NSAIDs BD. Right? Okay. Vadi Vamsi, secondary bacterial infection can be Staphylococcus, Streptococcus. So these are most common secondary bacterial infections that can happen. चलो चलें आगे चलें. Yes, all good. Okay, coming over to the second question. A 5-year-old girl is brought by the physician because of watery discharge, mind you, from her right eye for 2 weeks. She and her parents, who are refugees from Sudan, arrived in India a month ago. Her immunization status is not known. She is at the 25th percentile for weight and 50th percentile for height. Her temperature is 37.2 degrees. Pulse and respiration is given, which is 90 per minute and 18 per minute, right? Examination of the right eye shows matting of the eyelashes. You need to underline keywords, right? Matting and everting of the right eyelid shows hyperemia. Follicles are seen in infection, and papillae on the upper tarsal conjunctiva. Slit light examination of the right eye shows follicle in the limbic region and the bulbar conjunctiva. So here the important keyword is bulbar conjunctiva. There is corneal haziness with neovascularization at 12 o'clock position. So what is that haziness plus neovascularization? Can you tell me? Yes, can you tell me what is that neovascularization with the haziness? There is a specific term. I specifically put up this question. Examination of the left eye, unremarkable. Direct ophthalmoscopy, both eye shows no abnormalities, right? Pre-auricular lymphadenopathy is present. What will be the most likely diagnosis? पहले आप मुझे ये बताइए, you need to tell me what is the corneal haziness with neovascularization mean? You have read it. I am sure you have read it. But when I will tell you the answer, you will say, "Arey sir, we had read it, but we just could not recall." So someone is answered correctly. Very good, very good, very good, Shima. Very good, Jyoti. Kudos. So this is your pannus. What is pannus? Pannus is infiltration with that of vascularization. If infiltration is ahead of vascularization, you call it as progressive pannus, in which I am writing, please write, this is a keyword, in which infiltration is ahead of vascularization. Ahead of vascularization, it is progressive. If there is infiltration behind vascularization, what you will call it as? Yes, you, I am asking you, yes, answer. I want you to keep speaking. I want you to have a feeling that you are sitting with me in my classroom. You are not attending it online. You are attending with me in my classroom, right? So that will be regressive pannus. Yes, you got it correct. That is regressive pannus. So there is a pannus. There is pre-auricular lymphadenopathy, right? And there is bulbar follicles, which are diagnostic of one condition. What is that? Yes, Abhijit, I am so proud of you. So the answer to this question is actually trachoma conjunctivitis, because bulbar conjunctivitis, bulbar conjunctiva follicles is hallmark of disease. It is hallmark of disease. Which disease? Trachoma. Is it understandable? Is it understandable? Pannus is also seen in trachoma, right? Now, what are the other features of trachoma? Do you know that trachoma also leads to ophthalmia neonatorum? So the age of the child which makes us think about trachoma is more than equal to 5 days of birth. This is the age. In some books it is mentioned that if it is more than 7 days of birth, then you will think of trachoma. Normally I am talking of ophthalmia neonatorum. Here of course the age of the child is 5 years, right? Okay, more than 5 days of birth, more than 7 days of birth, based on the option you can mark it. What else? So there is pannus, which you see there. What are the other features? What are the other features? Yes, one very important that Abhijit has mentioned, there will be Herbert pits. Herbert pits, you know Herbert pits. I am rubbing so that I get more space to write. So Herbert pit, Herbert pits is there. Herbert's pit. What is Herbert pit? Can anyone tell me? Herbert pits. What is Herbert pit? I told you na, there will be bulbar conjunctival follicles. These bulbar conjunctival follicles will lie at limbus, right? Now these follicles will get degenerated and will lead to permanent scarring. So these Herbert pits are due to degenerated bulbar follicles which are present on limbus. Is it understandable? Yes. So Herbert pit is another important keyword which is there in trachoma, right? So, right? Okay, what are the other features? There is another feature which is Arlt's line. What is Arlt's line? It is a fibrotic line which is present on upper palpebral conjunctiva. It is a fibrotic line on upper palpebral conjunctiva. This is fibrotic. Don't confuse Arlt's line with that of Arlt's triangle. Can anyone tell me Arlt's triangle किसमें दिखता है? Arlt's triangle. Arlt's triangle. Yes, everybody. Can you tell me Arlt's triangle is seen in which condition? जो बताएगा उसे चॉकलेट मिलेगी. ऑफ कोर्स व्हाट्सएप में चॉकलेट वाली स्माइली है ना, वो भेजूंगा मैं आपको. अच्छा, सो Arlt's triangle is seen in, yes Arnav, very good. I'm so proud of you. Arlt's triangle is seen in anterior uveitis. It is seen in anterior uveitis, and it is due to the presence of keratic precipitates in a vertical triangular fashion at the back of cornea in anterior uveitis. Don't confuse Arch triangle with that of Arch line. Arch line is a fibrotic scar which is present on upper palpebral conjunctiva in trachoma. Is it understandable? Okay, now next question to all of you. So if we are talking of trachoma, do you know that there is one strategy? What is the name of that strategy? This is your previous year question. There is a SAFE strategy. Now SAFE strategy states that S for surgery. Now my next question is, surgery is done for trichiasis or entropion. What will be your answer? You will mark trichiasis. If trichiasis is not there, then you can mark entropion. This is your INI-CT question. Previous year INI-CT question. A for antibiotic prophylaxis. Which antibiotic is used? You will use azithromycin. What is F? F for facial hygiene. And E for environmental sanitation. Right? Environmental sanitation. So this is SAFE strategy. Now my next question to you is, which is also your previous year question. So guys, what I am doing is, I am covering all the possible previous year questions and most important probable question with respect to the disease that we are discussing. Is it understood? Okay. Now SAFE strategy हम कब use करते हैं? When do we know that we have to practice SAFE strategy? That means हमें कब azithromycin की prophylaxis देनी है? Right? When there will be presence of bulbar follicles. When there will be presence of bulbar follicles in children जिनकी उम्र 1 to 9 years होगी, और ये bulbar follicle की prevalence कितनी होनी चाहिए? More than equal to 10%. So what does that mean? That means that if there is presence of bulbar follicles, because that is hallmark ना, यहीं पे लिखा है ना, देखो, eyelid shows follicles on bulbar conjunctiva. Can you see? On bulbar conjunctiva. If there is present of bulbar follicles in age group 1 to 9 years, more than 10% of the children in the community, sir, we have to go for SAFE strategy. What does SAFE strategy means? We will start with azithromycin prophylaxis. What is the prophylactic dose of azithromycin? Simple, 1 gram stat. Single dose is curative. This is drug of choice. Your previous year question, drug of choice, NEET PG 2019 में पूछा गया था. What is drug of choice in trachoma? Sir, go for azithromycin. No one can mow you down. बिल्कुल आप जीत के उभरोगे. Azithromycin drug of choice. But if azithromycin is not in the option, you go for tetracycline. But azithromycin होगा ऑप्शन में, क्योंकि आजकल azithromycin को ही प्रेफर किया जाता है. Is it understandable? Yes, very good. And dear Sakshi, it is 1 to 9 years. It is not 0 to 9 years. It is 1 to 9 years. Yes, Nidhi, prevalence of trachoma is 10% in children less than 9 years. That means 1 to. Very good. Very good. Arey kamal hai yaar. You people are just too good. Too good. Love to all of you. Okay. Now coming over to the next question. I hope we are completely done with trachoma. Right? Trachoma के हमने सारे important points. We have covered all the previous year questions of trachoma. Can we go to our next patient? देखें next patient हमारा. Next patient हमें क्या सिखा रहा है? I always say patients are like open books. बहुत सारे students को देखा है, they miss their clinicals और वो पढ़ते रहते हैं. No, that is not going to help you. When you are under so much of stress in your exam, the only thing you remember in your exam is the patient. अरे वो patient को देखा था, अरे वो सर ने वो patient दिखाया था, उसी पे हम सोचते हैं और उसी के बेसिस पे हमारा आंसर ठीक होता है. Right? ओके ग्रेट. चलो अब ये देखते हैं. वेलकम टू माई IOPD अगेन. नाउ a 52-year-old male female presents in IOPD with complaints of redness at the base of eyelash of lower eyelid from past 5 days. Right? She complained of pain over this region which was relieved. Pain थी which was relieved 1 day back after rupturing of the swelling. So there was swelling at the lower eyelid which eventually got ruptured. So there was swelling which was persisting for 5 days, which eventually got ruptured. Now she is relieved of pain. But after the rupturing of the swelling, she visits my clinic and the real patient video is shown. Now you have to see the video and tell me the diagnosis and also the treatment, because this is again the most commonly seen condition in our friends and family. So I want, after attending next clinical live session, you should be confident of your treatment. Kya I have seen the patient, I know how to treat this patient, right? Okay, chalo, let's see. Check this out. क्या हुआ था जी यहाँ पे?
जी
क्या हुआ था? Can you see?
बस फिंसी हुई है।
फिंसी हुई है। कितने समय पहले हुई जी?
5-7 दिन हो गया।
5-7 दिन हो गए। नीचे देखो, पैरवल देखो। Check this out. Okay. कोई दारू वगैरह डाली है आपने?
हाँ जी।
कहाँ से ली थी दारू? दारू means eye drop in Punjabi. So never mind.
पेंट वाले डॉक्टर।
दर्द हो रही है दबाने से? दर्द हो रही है?
नहीं। उसे फिंसी लगी होती है।
कोई यहाँ से पानी वगैरह निकलता है? पानी या पस वगैरह निकल रही है?
ना तो पास
कुछ भी नहीं निकल रहा, सिर्फ फिंसी है।
हाँ जी, मैं काम भी सारा करती हूँ।
अच्छा।
रोटी पानी सारा करके आई हैं।
अच्छा।
कपड़े तो
सुबह उठते हो तो आंखें चिपकी होती हैं?
जितना गेट जी हाँ जी है।
अच्छा।
हाँ जी।
All right. So I think most of you have got the answer. Yes, very good, very good. Can you actually see that there is pus or discharge which is still present at the medial canthus? देख पा रहे हैं उसको? ध्यान से देखिए, ध्यान से देखिए। और एक चीज और, can you actually see that the swelling was there at the lid margin? Don't confuse it with chalazion. इसको chalazion से confuse नहीं करेंगे. The swelling is there at the lid margin. Is it understandable? And that is why the diagnosis is, आप इसको स्टाई बोल सकते हैं और क्या बोल सकते हैं? Hordeolum externum. Hordeolum externum. Now you will say, sir, hordeolum externum is fine. Sir, hordeolum internum क्या होता है? Hordeolum internum is the infection of meibomian gland. So this is hordeolum externum, which is, what is stye? Stye, maybe there is some controversy. If in the option there is infection of hair follicle, then you will mark infection of hair follicle. If it is not in the option, then you will mark infection of gland of Zeiss. Don't mark gland of Zeiss, right? So it is infection of hair follicle. If it is not in the option, you will go for gland of Zeiss. Is it understandable? So hordeolum externum, hordeolum internum is what? It is meibomian gland. And also, what is chalazion? If you differentially diagnose, so what are differential diagnosis? Chalazion is painless. Wait, chalazion is painless. Painless means non-tender, and it is present away from lid margin, away from margin of the eyelid. It is present away from lid margin, and chalazion is due to lipogranulomatous inflammation. It is actually lipogranulomatous inflammation. And can you tell me what is the cause of chalazion? Is it infection? No, it is due to blockade of meibomian gland duct. Very important, very important. Blockade of, I am talking of chalazion, blockade of meibomian gland duct. Meibomian gland duct. Is it understandable? Okay, now what will be the treatment? What will be the treatment? So the treatment will be, you will give oral antibiotic. Antibiotic, which oral antibiotic you can give? You can give any decent, which is ciprofloxacin. Ciprofloxacin you can give, and you can also give topical antibiotic ointment, because of course you will not give topical eye drops. Most of the patients, most of the students, of course medical students, they come to me and say, sir, my so and so have got stye, so what treatment can I give? Sir, can I prescribe topical eye drops? I always say the eye drop is going to go inside the eye. but this condition is outside the eye, which is at the lid margin. So you will give topical antibiotic ointment. You can give ciprofloxacin or azithromycin eye ointment, azithromycin or ciprofloxacin eye ointment, and you ask the patient कि जहां पे lesion है, the patient has to apply it over the lesion. Is it understandable? Okay, so this is about antibiotics. You will also give oral NSAIDs. You will also give oral NSAIDs. Don't give topical NSAID. Topical NSAIDs are corneotoxic unless there is a strong indication for topical NSAIDs, which is in post cataract surgery. You give Nepafenac, you give Bromofenac to prevent Irwin gas syndrome, which is cystoid macular edema, right? So don't give topical NSAIDs. So these are two important things. And third, very important, hot fomentation. Hot fomentation. And if the patient permits you, so you can even go for epilation of the eyelash. Once the epilation matlab with the epilation forceps you remove the eyelash, so there is sudden exudation of the pus and the pain will be relieved. Epilation can be done if the patient permits. Of course patient does not permit, तो what I do is मैं बोलता हूँ बस हाथ लगाने दो, एकदम से फोर्सेप पकड़ के मैं खींच देता हूँ. पेशेंट उस टाइम पे तो बहुत गालियां निकालता है, लेकिन बाद में एक दिन बाद पेशेंट इज ऑलवेज थैंकफुल. सो दिस हैपेंस, राइट? ओके, ग्रेट. So this is the treatment of hordeolum externum or stye. Understood? Yes. What is to be ruled out in case of recurrence of this disease? Can anyone just tell me? Yes. What is to be ruled out? Yes. What is to be ruled out? What is to be ruled out? बताइए क्या rule out करेंगे? Very important. If the patient is coming up with recurrent stye, especially children, you will rule out, yes, you will rule out refractory errors. You will say, sir, how come refractory error? Simple, because the patient is not able to see. So what the patient will do, especially children, so they will keep rubbing their eyes, right? Because they are not able to see now, they will think that there is something wrong with their eyes, they'll keep rubbing. So in view of rubbing their eyes, they will introduce the infection into their eyes, which will lead to recurrent styes. Your previous year question, right? Yes, Santhya, very good. Refraction is required. Very good, good, very good, great going. Yes, Sunidhi, very good. Refraction is required. Refractory error, you have to rule out refractory error in recurrent styes. अच्छा चलो एक और क्वेश्चन पूछता हूं आपसे, which was asked just last week in your foreign medical graduate exam. If there is recurrent chalazion, you know na, we just discussed chalazion. If there is recurrent chalazion, so what will you rule out? Can anyone tell me? Yes, recurrent chalazion is what will you rule out? Waiting for your replies. Yes, so you will rule out squamous cell carcinoma. FMG question. If you want to visit the FMG recall 2023, you can always go to YouTube and refer to DAMS Delhi YouTube channel and see the FMG 2023 recall. Yes, which carcinoma? Squamous cell. Yes, Janki, you got it correct. Janki Rajendra Raichura. Yes, very good. And all of you, Nidhi, yes. Subhashri, it's carcinoma. It is squamous. Sakshi dear, it is not sebaceous, it is squamous cell carcinoma. You have to rule out. Okay, चलो आगे चलें. We have discussed every single possible question around these two diseases, chalazion and stye. Can we move ahead? And side by side, patient learning is very important, right? चलो. Now, again, I am now taking you to my procedure room where I am doing something. Let's see. What do you see? Okay. So a 65-year-old lady comes to eye clinic with complaints of burning sensation, stinging, redness, grittiness of eyes, right? On examination, anterior segment findings and posterior segment findings are normal. मतलब आंख के अंदर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. The Schoen test is done. देखो, wait, yeah, the Schoen test is done. Which test is this? Which test is this, guys? Very important. Which test is this? Name of the test is, yes, it is Shermer test. Shermer test. Very good. So this is your Shermer test. And my next question to you is, what is the name of this strip? Can anyone name me the strip? Name of the strip used? What are the normal values? Can you tell me that it should be more than 15 millimeter, right? But if it is within 10 to 15 millimeter, it is considered as suspicious, right? But of course, abnormal is taken if it is less than 10 millimeter, right? Yes, Jyoti, you are good. So if it is less than 10 millimeter, definitely dry ice, but 10 to 15 may be suspicious, but more than 15, definitely not dry ice, right? Yes, very good. Very good, Nidhi. Very good. Name of the strip is Wattman number 41 blotting paper. It is good. Very good. Very good. Yes, all of you. Very good. Very good, Naval. Very good. Okay. What component of tear film is tested in this test? Can anyone tell me what component? So this patient is having Sjogren syndrome, है ना? So can you tell me what component is tested? What component is tested? Yes. And also this wetting I am talking of, it is seen after 5 minutes. So you will place the strip at the junction of medial 2/3 to lateral 1/3 on the lower lid, and you keep it there for 5 minutes, right? And you will measure the value after 5 minutes. Okay, what do you test with this? Which part is tested? Which part is tested? So we are talking of Sjogren syndrome. Which component is tested? So we test the aqueous component. Aqueous component. We test the aqueous component. Some books mention mucin as well, but aqueous, out of these two, aqueous is actually the better answer. So aqueous component is tested, right? And in Sjogren syndrome, you know what happens. So there is damage to lacrimal gland, and lacrimal gland contributes to aqueous component. Aqueous component of tear film. Acha, can anyone let me know what are the 3 components of tear film? कोई बता सकता है? Since we are discussing this, so it is also my responsibility to touch the around lying topics, है ना? हम conceptually पढ़ रहे हैं, we are not rushing. The basic idea is not to give you the rote concepts, है ना? So that you can cram in the end. The idea is to cover all the possible things. Okay. So see. So if we talk about tear film, there are 3 components. So we have got lipid component, which is more superficial. Then we have got aqueous component, and then we have got mucin component, right? Done. Okay. Lipid is produced by gland of Zeiss, meibomian glands, and glands of Moll. Aqueous component is via lacrimal and accessory lacrimal glands. Mucin is via conjunctival goblet cells. Conjunctival goblet cells. Is it good? समझ पा रहे हो? What is the function of lipid layer? It prevents evaporation. सिर्फ सुनेंगे, ध्यान देंगे. It prevent evaporation of the tear film. It prevent evaporation of the tear film, right? What is the function of lacrimal component? Means aqueous component. It adds bulk to the tear film, and it consists of what? It consists of salt, sodium chloride, lysozyme, which is antibacterial. Lysozyme and sodium chloride, I am sure all of you have tasted it, all of you know it, है ना? So sodium chloride. What is the function of mucin component? It converts hydrophobic surface of the cornea to hydrophilic, such that the tear film is able to stick upon the cornea. It converts hydrophobic corneal surface to hydrophilic. Hydrophobic to hydrophilic corneal surface I am talking of, right? Okay. If there is deficiency of aqueous, we call it as, what do we call it as? keratoconjunctivitis sicca. If there is deficiency of mucin, we call it as xerophthalmia. Xerophthalmia, we call it as xerophthalmia. Yes, Sakshi, there can be lactoferrin, there is lactoferrin as well. Okay, so mucin, xerophthalmia and aqueous keratoconjunctivitis sicca. So this patient is probably the case of keratoconjunctivitis sicca post Sjogren syndrome. Good to go. चलें आगे. Yes निधि, very good. Can we move ahead? हाँ जी, आपकी अगर आज्ञा हो तो हम अपनी वंदे भारत आगे लेके चले. बताइए. Yes, all of you. Is it understandable? चलें आगे. Okay, great. Now coming over to my clinic again. Now I am going to take you to our another patient. I told you in the beginning, if you cannot come to the patients, don't worry, we are here for you. We are going to bring the real patients to you, right? Okay, great. Now a 56-year-old lady comes up with complaints of difficulty in vision. On examination, the anterior segment looks fine. Posterior segment needs to be examined, right? Okay, based on the clinical video shown, answer the following questions. ध्यान से देखेंगे. I am going to run my clinical video. Now you will see. Okay, let's see. What is this? What is this procedure? Name of the technique. So what was that technique? अब लाइट में देखना है. लाइट में. Now see. लाइट में. लाइट. बस. What I am doing? Yes, everybody. ये जो सामने से बैटरी आ रही है. हाँ जी. शाबाश. Now the other eye needs to be tested. अब सामने देखो. सीधा सामने. मशीन वाला. Yes guys, what is this? मेरी बैटरी में. शाबाश. Yes, what is this? What is this? बहुत बढ़िया. Guys, the basic idea is, I know all of you have read it in the notes. You must have seen my back to basics where I have shown you at least 200-250 real patient videos, right? All of you have read it in notes, but when you will see the videos, trust me, your concepts will become more and more strong. Now I am seeing your answers. This technique is, what is this technique? So guys, that is your direct ophthalmoscope. Direct ophthalmoscope. But whenever you go for direct ophthalmoscopy, you first start with the distance. What distance is that? Your NEET PG 2018 question, boys and girls. The distance is 25 centimeter. So typically when you do it from a distance of 25 centimeter, you call it as DDO, which is distant direct ophthalmoscopy. And Arnav Jain, very good, you were the first one to mention that. First it was DDO, then it was DO. So it is distant direct ophthalmoscopy. Please understand, in direct ophthalmoscope the vision is uniocular. I am closing my one eye now, so I am seeing from my one eye now. So it is direct ophthalmoscope. In indirect ophthalmoscope you have binocular vision. That is why in indirect ophthalmoscope stereopsis is present. In direct ophthalmoscope stereopsis is absent. Is it understandable? Okay, field of view examined by this technique. The field of view is small. It is 2 disc diameter. Field of view is 2 disc diameter. 2 disc diameter. So 2 disc diameter, 1 disc diameter equal to 1.5 millimeter. So 2 disc diameter equal to 2 into 1.5, which is equal to 3 millimeter. What is the magnification with direct ophthalmoscopy? Can anyone tell me? What is the, yes, I am waiting for your replies. What is the magnification of direct ophthalmoscopy? Yes, can anyone tell me? It is how much? It is 15x. It is 15x. Sakshi, it is 2 disc diameter. Diopter means diameter, है ना? Diameter. 2 disadvantages of this technique. One I have already told you, that stereopsis is absent. Stereopsis is absent. Yes, I am explaining. Sakshi, no, power of eye divided by 4. Not in this case. I am going to come over it. Stereopsis is absent and you can only see the central part of the retina. You cannot go periphery. So peripheral view absent. peripheral view is absent. Peripheral view is absent, so that is the disadvantage. Okay, now I am going to tell you how do you differentiate between direct ophthalmoscope and indirect ophthalmoscope. So let's write. So here I am writing points about DO. Here I am going to write points about distant about IDO, indirect ophthalmoscopy. So DO is uniocular. You saw it na in the video. So I am closing my one eye, uniocular, and the image is virtual and erect. The image is virtual and erect, right? Virtual and erect. So these are important points. Indirect, so there is binocularity, binocular, and the image is real and inverted. The image is real and inverted, indirect. And the benefit of indirect is you are able to appreciate the peripheral retina. That is why, do you remember? अब मैं बोलूंगा, आप बोलोगे अरे सर ये तो कितनी बार पढ़ा हुआ है. In retinopathy of prematurity, your previous year question, the instrument which is used to assess the peripheral retina is which instrument? Boys and girls, this is indirect ophthalmoscopy only. So in peripheral retinal examination, peripheral, it is helpful for peripheral retinal examination. And here in direct ophthalmoscopy, the magnification is simply 15x. But in indirect ophthalmoscopy, you actually use a condenser lens. You actually use a condenser lens to focus the light rays on the retina so that you are able to see it. So what is the normal power of eye? Power of eye is, for ease of calculations, we take it as plus 60 diopter, right? But what is the magnification of indirect ophthalmoscopy? Magnification is power of eye divided by the power of condensing lens used. Power of condensing lens. So power of eye is plus 60 diopter, and if you are using condensing lens of the power plus 15 diopter, so the magnification will be 4x. If you are using the condensing lens of plus 20 diopter, so the magnification will become 3x. So normally the magnification is, so you take it as 3 to 5x overall. Is it understandable? Have you understood the concept? So someone had asked me, so who was that? Yes, Santhia, is it understandable? Have you understood the differences between indirect ophthalmoscopy and direct ophthalmoscopy? I hope it is very well clear to you. I hope the concepts are being made in next clinical live session. I hope that is my basic idea, because I know ophthalmology आपने पूरी पढ़ी है. The basic idea is to make your stronghold concepts, right? Right, done. Can I move ahead? चले आगे नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की तरफ बढ़ते हुए, अपनी वंदे भारत की स्पीड तेज करते हुए. ऑल राइट, चलो लेट्स मूव अहेड. सो आई हैव गिवन यू द आंसर्स टू द क्वेश्चंस. ओके, नाउ दिस इज द सिंपल क्वेश्चन. व्हाट कुड बी द प्रोफाइल ऑफ द पेशेंट? व्हाट कुड बी द प्रोफाइल ऑफ द पेशेंट? तो यहां आपको क्या क्या नजर आ रहा है? व्हाट आर दीज एंड व्हाट इज दिस? So this is sort of an integrated question. First, you need to tell me which disease is this, but the examiner is not interested in knowing whether you know the disease or not. I am more interested in knowing the etiology of this disease. So what could be the profile of this patient? What could be the profile of this patient? So this disease is, what is this? These are Horner-Tranta spots. Horner-Tranta spots. And what is this? This is your papillae. This is your papillae. Which papillae? Cobblestone papillae, sir. Cobblestone papillae. So these are cobblestone papillae, and the disease is, what is the diagnosis? It is VKC, which is vernal keratoconjunctivitis. Now quick points about vernal keratoconjunctivitis. Let's revise vernal keratoconjunctivitis quickly in next 2 minutes. So VKC, if we talk about VKC, what is this? This is allergic conjunctivitis. So this is more common in summers. भाई ये summers में ज्यादा होता है, but the name of vernal keratoconjunctivitis is spring catarrh. It is spring catarrh. होता ये समर्स में है, लेकिन इसका नाम है स्प्रिंग कटार. इज इट अंडरस्टैंडेबल? ओके, नाउ इट इज मोर कॉमन इन यंग टीनेजर males, young teenager males, but please understand it is more common in summers, but the name is spring catarrh. Is something like someone's name is दारू वाला, but वो दारू नहीं बेचता. Do you understand? But person तो same है ना, you can understand. Okay, so young teenager males. Next is important points. What are the important features that you will see? Cobblestone appearance, papillae are there, plus there is, it is bilateral condition, there is bilateral itching which is more in summers. It is more in summers, bilateral itching. And your previous year question, it is type 1 plus type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. If this is not in the option, go for type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. If this is not in the option, go for type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. Is it understandable? So Nidhi has already told all the important points. Okay, I'll add to some. Next is, there is important sign. What is that sign? That is known as Maxwell-Lyon sign. What is Maxwell-Lyon sign? Maxwell-Lyon sign is the thick ropey discharge which has got, हाँ जी बताओ क्या होगा उसमें? लिम्फोसाइट्स होंगे? ना. न्यूट्रोफिल्स होंगे? ना. बेसोफिल्स होंगे? ना. और क्या होगा? eosinophils, because eosinophils are associated with allergic conditions. So thick ropey discharge with eosinophils, that is your Maxwell-Lyon sign. Is it understandable? All right, Horner-Tranta spots I have already told you. Now what will be the treatment of this disease? क्या treatment होगा? What will you give? Please हाथ जोड़ के विनती है, अगर कोई स्टीरॉइड ले रहा है तो उसको उसी टाइम बंद करवा दो. Because when I was in PGI, so almost 2 to 3 patients daily in my glaucoma clinic, I used to see very young patients who had VKC. Once they went to some registered medical practitioner, or maybe a quack, or maybe the chemist, and by the quack or chemist he was advised the steroid drops. Of course the itching will go down, but it will lead to steroid induced glaucoma. And I have myself seen 13 year old young boys with CD ratios 0.9 and intraocular pressures of 50, 60, 70 even. Trust me. So please don't give steroids. Go for antihistaminics, which are new generation, olopatadine, or you can go for mast cell stabilizers, which is sodium chromoglycate. It is a mast cell stabilizer. Antihistaminics are drug of choice. Don't give steroids. Steroid कभी भी नहीं देना until unless patient को शील्ड अल्सर हो गया है, और वो भी थोड़े समय के लिए देना है. तो पेशेंट को जब स्टीरॉइड दोगे तो पेशेंट को इतना डरा दो कि वो गलती से हिम्मत भी ना करे केमिस्ट के पास सीधा जाके वही स्टीरॉइड दोबारा खरीदने की. ही हैज टू कम टू यू to make sure that whether he has to still continue the steroids or he has to stop the steroids. Right? Is it understandable? Steroids सिर्फ तब देते हैं जब exaggeration phase आ गया, तो उसको कम कर देंगे, then again shift the patient to olopatadine. Right? Don't use steroids indiscriminately in this patient. Right? चलो, I hope it is good. All right, can I move ahead? चलें आगे. Okay, now again come to my clinic. जी आयानु, स्वागत है मेरी क्लिनिक में दोबारा. Okay, now a 25-year-old laborer comes to IOPD with complaints of difficulty at night vision. From past 4 months on history, he revealed that he is mostly on the diet of rice. अरे भाई चावल से क्या लेना देना है. Next, on examination, the cornea appeared normal. भाई cornea तो normal है. And the following video is seen. देखेंगे वीडियो में हमें क्या दिखता है. Based on the video, answer the following questions. Let's see the video. What is this? Are you able to appreciate? What is this?
खपे
हाँ शाबाश. Yes. Are you able to appreciate? खब्बे देखो खब्बे. हाँ खब्बे देखो खब्बे. शाबाश. What is this? बताओ. सीधा देखो. सज्जे देखो सज्जे. हाँ सामने सामने. बहुत अच्छे. दादर आई. भी दिखाओ. दादर आई. सज्जे सज्जे. हाँ शाबाश. दादर आई. बहुत अच्छे. बस वहां देखो सज्जे देखो सज्जे. दादर आई. Yes. Can you see the foamy appearance on the conjunctiva? Typically. सामने देखो. Foamy appearance of the conjunctiva. शाबाश. It is. What is this finding? Yes, you are correct. It is Bitot spots. And mostly they are bilateral and they are more common in patients who are taking rice as the primary diet, because in rice vitamin A is relatively absent, right? Okay. Ajit, pseudogerontoxin is the peripheral corneal opacity which is seen in vernal keratoconjunctivitis. Now you will say sir ठीक है pseudogerontoxin तो समझ में आ गया. What is gerontoxin? Gerontoxin is the other name of Arcus senilis, right? तो pseudogerontoxin ऐसे लगता है जैसे Arcus senilis हो. Arcus senilis is lipid deposition in the cornea which is age related, right? Arcus senilis. Arnav, it is, as you can see, it is brownish whitish in color. Whitish to brown you can say, but not dark brown, just whitish to brownish, right? Okay, it is more common in temporal side, yes. And these are foamy appearances on the conjunctiva. So diagnosis is this patient is having xerophthalmia. Xerophthalmia, and I have already told you xerophthalmia is due to which component deficiency? Mucin component, which is secreted by conjunctival goblet cells, right? What is the staging of the disease? So because the patient is just having difficulty night vision, and you can see what foamy appearance, but the retina is all right. So staging of disease is X1B, because if you will talk of X2 में there will be corneal involvement, but here there is just conjunctival xerosis leading to Bitot spots. So X2 is corneal involvement, corneal xerosis X2. What will be the treatment? Treatment is you will give vitamin A palmitate, and generally speaking what is the treatment of xerophthalmia? बच्चों की बात करें, बच्चों की बात करके बता रहा हूं आपको. If the age is less than 6 months you will give 50,000 international units. If it is 6 months to 12 months you will give 1 lakh international unit. If it is more than 1 year you will give 2 lakh international unit. But please understand, you will give it in 3 doses, 0, 1, 14 days. Number 1. Second, ये जो मैंने आपको dosage बताई, these are oral dosages. But what if you give intramuscular दोगे तो bioavailability will be more, तो IM will be oral divided by 2. You will divide it by 2. Like age less than 6 months you will give 25,000, 6 months to 12 months you will give 50,000, more than 1 year you will give 1 lakh if you are giving intramuscular. So that is the treatment. Is it understandable? Okay, I have put up the WHO classification of xerophthalmia. So we had got this Bitot spots, right? There was no corneal xerosis, so this is not X2. So we have got Bitot spots. Is it understandable? Is it clear? Have you understood? This is very very important. बहुत ज़्यादा important है ये, आजकल बहुत common भी है ये, due to low socio-economic status. So the question can very well be asked, right? चलें आगे, चलो. Again coming to my OPD. So let's see what this patient has to teach us. देखें एक बार. चलो, a 48-year-old lady complained of pain, burning sensation in right eye associated watering, loss of vision from past 15 to 18 days. She visits IOPD and the following clinical presentation is obtained. कौन सी हम अभी देखेंगे, right? right? Santhya, this is treatment 0, 1 or 14. This is treatment. This is treatment, right? Prophylaxis 0, 1, 14. How do we know that we have to do prophylaxis, right? है ना? So we will go for treatment. Okay, based on the clues provided, answer the following question. Now let's see this patient. क्या हुई थी जी आपको?
पहले ना दर्द हुई बीच
So the patient is giving short history. So I'll just
चले आते हैं फिर से
check this out.
हो गया
अच्छा.
पता सिर मेरा होने भी है
So she is saying that there were some vesicles over her forehead.
भी करवाए डॉक्टर कोल भी गए नहीं रुमाल आया
अच्छा. So she is kind of speaking in vernacular language, which is Punjabi, but I am going to translate it whenever, wherever I will see. It's important for you to know, है ना? Okay. तो कोई दवा दारू कुछ आपको ड्रॉप्स वगैरह दी थी
पाई पाई है बूंदा पाइया
अच्छा, कितने समय पहले निकला था?
ये 20 दिन हो गया
20-22 दिन हो गए हैं।
हाँ जी।
तो उसके बाद आपके सर में दर्द होना शुरू हो गया?
फिरसियाँ निकली सर से भी।
अच्छा।
सारे फिरसियाँ।
अच्छा।
तो इसमें दर्द होता था बहुत ज्यादा।
तो खोलो दोनों आंखें खोलो आराम। She is complaining of pain in the half forehead, pain in the eye, and watering and difficulty in vision. उसके बाद डॉक्टर को दिखाया? हाँ
दिखाया।
तो उन्होंने
कोई फर्क नहीं लगा
कोई फर्क नहीं लगा। तो अभी क्या दिक्कत हो रही है आपको?
पानी वगैरह था।
आँख में से पानी आ रहा है।
दर्द रड़क खुलती की नजर।
So radak means foreign body sensation. So she is having difficulty in the right eye. So there is foreign body sensation. There is watering. Can you see the watering at the lower eyelid? Can you see? I am sure that you are able to appreciate it. Now check this out. So what did I do? So while talking, so you must have heard of some people saying अरे ये तो इतना अच्छा डॉक्टर है, ये तो पेशेंट की शक्ल देख के बता देता है पेशेंट का डायग्नोसिस क्या है. डू यू नो व्हाट हैपेंस एक्चुअली? देयर आर सम हैक्स, इसको हम क्लिनिकल हैक्स बोलते हैं. वंस यू नो अबाउट दीज हैक्स, राइट, सो यू कैन really tell whether the patient is suffering from that particular disease or not. But the other person who does not know about this hack, that person will be super impressed, right? कि अरे इन्होंने तो पेशेंट को देख के ही बता दिया. So the same is applied here. So she was referred to me from Department of Dermatology in my hospital that okay, you go and get yourself checked for your cornea involvement. Now the resident who had brought this patient to me, he is not in the frame, he is not in the video, but he is standing side to me on my side. So the moment the lady said that I am having this symptoms, and I was constantly observing the lady, and I suddenly observed something on the nose of the lady. Without going on for further examination, I told to the resident that there is definitely corneal involvement. Why is that? So now we are going to discuss why is that. So let's see, let's proceed further. और आपको लग रहा है आपकी नजर भी डाउन हुई है? हाँ जी हाँ जी. अच्छा. So now what I am doing is, because this appears to be a case of one particular keratitis which you are going to tell me, and of course you are telling me. So in viral keratitis there is a typical finding that the blink reflex will be absent. Why the blink reflex will be absent? Because of course in that particular keratitis the subepithelial corneal plexus of nerves will be involved. And do you know which nerves form the blink reflex? Let's finish the video, then we'll do detailed discussion. Let's see. सामने कोई सामने देखो बस. Check this out. कुछ नहीं है आप सामने देखो. खोलो आँख खोलो. हुई है कुछ नहीं है, सामने देखो. सीधा. This is cotton wisp test. Can you see blinking is absent? इधर देखो, सीधा देखो, सीधा देखो. Blinking is typically absent. सीधा देखो, okay. सामने देखो. All right. Now what I am doing is I am going to stain the cornea. So what is this? So you put a proparacaine eye drop. This is a topical anesthetic eye drop. Its action is for just 15 to 20 minutes. And now I am going to stain the eye. Let's see. So this is the stain. I am going to apply the stain. I am going to apply the stain. So what is the name of this stain? This was asked in your NEET PG 2023 examination. What is the name of this stain? What is the color of this stain? Alright. So after staining, what I am going to see? So I saw this typical history, typical presentation. Now coming over to the questions, then we'll have a short discussion about the disease. Now let me know about the diagnosis. I think most of you have written the diagnosis. So yes, the diagnosis is correct. It is not herpes simplex keratitis, my dears. This is herpes zoster ophthalmicus. Now you'll say, sir, herpes zoster ophthalmicus और herpes simplex keratitis में क्या फर्क है? Herpes zoster ophthalmicus is actually varicella zoster virus. Varicella zoster virus, while herpes simplex keratitis is herpes simplex virus. Is it understandable? इतना समझ में आया? This is your diagnosis. Name of the test. What was the name of the test? Two tests I did. One was cotton wisp test. I told you myself, cotton wisp test. Another is fluorescein test. Fluorescein staining I did, right? Okay, good Sakshi. What is the stain used? So you already know, you had all mentioned here. So the stain is sodium fluorescein. Sodium fluorescein. So one important sign. What was that? One important sign. So what is this? So I told you about Hutchinson sign. That's okay. So if there are vesicles on the tip of the nose, so you saw in our patient there were vesicles on the tip of the nose, na? So the corneal involvement is inevitable. Cornea की involvement तय है, वो होगी ही होगी. What is one important sign? What is this sign that you see here? What is this? Can anyone tell me? I told you the diagnosis. Now I expect you to answer me. Yes. What is this important sign, boys and girls? Yes, please. बताइए बताइए. I am not moving forward जब तक आप नहीं बताओगे. No, not at all. Yes. Yes, yes, Rohit. Very good. Rohit is good. Rohit, still now Rohit has answered correct. Santhia, changing of answer is not allowed. Gande bacche. Okay, Rohit, Sakshi, very good. Nidhi, very good. Very good. Santhia, still good. Yes, this is your pseudodendrite. Pseudodendrite. Yes, in dendrite there will be terminal bulbs. In pseudodendrite there will be no terminal bulbs. Okay. Now let's have a small discussion. So I was telling you, so you saw na in viral keratitis, so blinking reflex was absent. So I am touching a little bit of physiology. So if I am talking of blinking reflex, so what happens is every reflex in the body has got one afferent, एक afferent होता है, and the other is efferent. There is one afferent and the other is efferent, right? So afferent of blinking reflex is formed by which cranial nerve? Your previous year question, as Nidhi had rightly answered, it is fifth cranial nerve. Why fifth cranial nerve? I am going to tell you orally. आपको सिर्फ orally बताऊंगा, बाकी I am sure you can always revisit my back to basic videos and see about the detail of this disease. So afferent is how fifth cranial nerve. So please understand, so there is cornea and at the subepithelial surface there is corneal plexus, which is formed by branches of long posterior ciliary nerve. Long posterior ciliary nerve takes the impulse, brings it to the nasociliary nerve. Nasociliary nerve is the branch of ophthalmic division of trigeminal nerve, which again makes the pulse move to the trigeminal ganglion. Then there is efferent fibers. Efferent fibers means blinking. So efferent is actually seventh cranial nerve, and which is facial nerve, and there is blinking due to, don't say levator palpebrae superioris, don't say, it is actually orbicularis oculi. And what is that Hutchinson sign? Because nasociliary nerve give branch to the subepithelial corneal plexus, it also give branching to the tip of nose. So if there is virus which has got activated, maybe due to indiscriminate use of steroids or the immunity going down, so the virus will follow the entire pathway of the nerve, and if there is Hutchinson sign, which is presence of the vesicles on the tip of nose or maybe on the side of the nose, then corneal involvement is inevitable. That is why मैंने देख के ही बता दिया था कि corneal involvement will definitely be there, and that person who had come to me got impressed, of course, but I never told him about the concept, right? And he was like, अरे सर ने तो देख के ही बता दिया. But if that in turn maybe is watching, maybe is attending the live dance class, now you know it, है ना? चलो, anyway, so I know that you have got the answer to this. So that is your blinking reflex, and please don't confuse herpes zoster ophthalmicus with that of herpes simplex keratitis, in which herpes simplex keratitis you will find dendrites. आप क्या ढूंढेंगे? आप ढूंढेंगे dendrites. Dendrites are like this. So these are dendrites. ये dendrites हैं, and pseudodendrites are this. There are no terminal bulbs, as someone has rightly said in the chat. There are no terminal bulbs in pseudodendrites. Done.